on 32 Thoughts this week, they actually talked about how they feel for NHL video coaches and how the reviews in the playoffs have been wildly unsuccessful for the most part, and there's been some really controversial goaltender interference calls, and Elliot Friedman, Jeff Merrick, friends of the show, talked about how they want to be the place that video coaches can come and sit on the couch and vent about this. But as a former video coach yourself, I want to know what you think about these goaltender interference calls and just maybe the number of calls in the postseason that maybe haven't gone the way that people have thought.
So here's what's interesting, because when we watch TV, and Lee and I watch in the studio all the time, and it's always, anytime there's a call, Lee will say, what do you think? And I will make the call. If I was the video guy, would I challenge this or not? And a lot of times it's gray, and we're not really sure. Offsides, you better not get wrong, because it either is or it isn't. Yeah. And we'll talk about offsides at another point. But goaltender interference, there is a rule that says if you impede the goalie's ability to make the save. So we're talking about 2 calls in 2 games between Carolina and Boston. And I, on both of them, adamant, goalie interference existed. The goal should have been called back. In both situations, there is no doubt in my mind, I would have thrown, we call it throwing the red flag like they do in football. I would have thrown the red flag on both of those instances, absolutely, without question. I don't know in what universe the referees or the league are living in to make the calls, and they did not reverse either one. That they called them both good goals. I don't understand it. I've had the opportunity to talk to video guys over the last few days, and they are asking the league for clarification. They have meetings at the draft, because the video coaches I talked to on these 2 goals, they all said they would have made those calls. And so one of the things that Gary Bettman said to the video guys when we first brought in the challenge is, don't do it unless that's dead effing wrong. Well, if you get 15, 20, 30 video coaches all unanimously saying that's goalie interference, then when you get a unanimous decision, it's goalie interference. But I get it if it's 8-5 or a 7-6, but that's not the case here. I haven't spoken to one person that goes, oh yeah, I see that. I haven't. I think the job of the video coach right now, it's almost to the point where it's unfair. If I'm a video coach now for the remainder of this playoffs, there is no way I'm making a goalie interference call. I'm terrified because not only do you not get the call reversed, now you're shorthanded in those situations. And the game is literally turned around and spun out of control. I think they're mistakes by the referees. I think the league should be ashamed. I think that those were 2 areas that they're not clear on what they're trying to do. I don't think the goalie had the ability to reset. In the Florida situation where they said Oliver Ekman-Larsson knocks his stick, I believe once the Boston player takes the goaltender's feet away from him in the crease prior to the shot, it's goalie interference. And so I feel for the video guys. I think they're asked to do too much. I think they've talked about adding the puck to the screen, which is a black puck hitting a black screen against black fans, and you can't see. Like, I don't know what their anticipation is that a video guy is going to make that call. And making a hand pass, now you're watching for a hand pass. You're no longer a video coach. You're looking for the referee's job. You can't break down the defensive zone coverage. You can't see who's covering who because you're worried about if there was a hand pass. So I do get concerned about where this has gone. I think what I would like to see the league get away from the hand pass puck in the mesh. I think that's too hard. I think there aren't clear camera angles for that. I don't think the technology is there for that. I think we go back to the offside and the goalie interference, but I think there needs to be some better definition and clarification on what goalie interference is, because I clearly, as a video coach for 23 years, I have no idea what it is. Because on both of those instances, against Swayman and against Bobrovsky, in my opinion, those are both goalie interference calls, and the goals should not have been allowed.
PD, it might be 100 years before anyone knows what goalie interference is. And even then, I don't think we will know.
Yep, that's fair.
I think it will be one of life's greatest unsolved mysteries.
Hey, JJ brought up a good point. Remember the foot in the crease rule? Brett Hull in the foot. If your literal toe was in the blue paint, toe, the goalie was on the other side of the crease. You were 3 feet from the goalie, but your toe was in the crease, no goal. That was it, no goal. If your foot was in the crease, no goal, and any circumstances. That rule sucked, because we sat there for 15 minutes a game looking at every goal. So this was fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks, JJ, for reminding me of that.
Yeah. Well, it's been an interesting playoff in the sense of certain calls in
Yes.
games. I know many fan bases have had a lot of
Yes.
frustration.